any way that we can help, you know, and me in particular, that I can help all of you achieve your goals. I feel like right now I've achieved my goal or my dream to be here, and if I can help you achieve your goal, whatever that may be, and if this is a function of that, then that's awesome. Pattern recognition is having the experience and being able to correct something quicker than you previously had, and I think that's what Temple prepared me for, because we took over about December 6th in 2005 that year. And from that class, now it's a different circumstance because Temple was kicked out of the Big East and they were 0-12 the year before I took over. But out of that first class, we had 5 NFL players. 5 players make it, and that's at Temple. So the way we looked at it was that we weren't just going to follow the crowd, the herd effect, so to speak. We weren't just going to offer kids or recruit kids just to say, you know, just because, you know, maybe some of the other Florida schools or some of the SEC schools or ACC schools were recruiting. We just slowed down and took it nice and easy and made sure that every kid that we offered and every kid that we took a commitment from was somebody that we wanted here on this campus, you know, both academically, socially, and athletically. So I think we learned a lot from that experience. I know some of the guys on our staff were there with me there, and I know they gleaned something from it as well. So I think it made this transition a lot better. And certainly when you take over a place like Miami, the brand is so much stronger. Here we were, there we were trying to kind of short the brand, so to speak, and sell the people. Here we had the brand, and we just wanted to get our people in front of the student athletes and the prospects and their families. And we thought if we did that, we would have a successful recruiting class, and we really battled back pretty well. The dorms were great. The students were awesome because they were so supportive. To be quite honest, I wasn't there very much. But I think, you know, the 2 a.m. entry by a female that was asking for somebody else in the wrong room, that was a little much. But I assured her that I was not that person she was looking for. But other than that, it was a great experience. And as I said, the students there were tremendous and really welcomed me. And my alarm clock's set at 4:45, and I go. And I'm usually in between 5:15 and 5:30, and that's kind of like my quiet time by myself to get some things done. I'll do a lot of alumni. I'll write a lot of responses to alumni, sign autographs, that stuff, and then also just plan for the day. And then when 7 o'clock hits, the whole staff is in, and then it will be staff meetings, and we'll usually break for lunch or a workout this time of year, not during recruiting. And then we'll come back and we'll do 2 or 3 hours more of football, preparing for spring ball, and then we'll finish off with 2.5 hours of recruiting just to cap the night off. So we try to keep it pretty reasonable this time of year. I think in the fall, obviously, it's you know, it's a little bit longer than that. I think the intensity level has changed dramatically. I think, you know, I think at the end of the day, I want to have a team that's known as a tough team. I think it's still a sport where I believe toughness is a skill, and I think that you can develop toughness, and I think you can develop a mental toughness or a competitive toughness that I think we need to improve upon. But I would just say that would probably be the biggest thing. And the second biggest thing that I think the players are seeing is just a different level of player-coach relationship. The fact that our guys are out there checking classes and those types of things, and making sure that we're involved in their lives outside of football is equally as important. I think at the end of the day, if we don't become a smarter, more disciplined football team, we don't have a chance to improve. So the best players don't always make the best team, but the best team always wins in football, period. And when you're 112 in turnover ratio, or 112 in penalties, and your turnover ratio is not good, you can't win. You can't overcome that. So it doesn't really matter how talented parts of your team are. The best team always wins, and that's the team that plays the best in situational football. Some of those guys are anxious, you know, for a new start, so to speak, and an opportunity to compete for a job this spring, and that's what to me is going to be interesting, just to see how that develops. And many of you and many in the media think, there's preconceived notions as a staff that we think it's going to look a certain way come April 16th or as we go into the summer. And the truth of the matter is that we're going to watch it develop. And we're going to try to coach as many kids as we can and teach as well as we can and see where the team wants to go with it. But I have no preconceived notion of who the starting running back is, let alone the starting quarterback or the offensive line. I want to see how they compete for this job in the off-season program and then in spring ball. I do believe in player development. Sometimes for a team to go from 7 wins to 10 wins or from 10 wins to 12 wins or from 12 wins to a national championship, sometimes many of those things are not in the systems or on offense, defense, and special teams. Sometimes it's just something like gratitude or something like, like appreciating where you are and what you have. Sometimes it's an attitude or choices. Those are the, what we call our 8 pillars, those types of things that you teach off the field that you can, start to extract as much talent or as much skill as you can from somebody. So I think it's important to keep that foundation. It's got to be bigger than just the game for you to have an enduring program. Well, we have. I don't share them with anybody, but we have. We have a Las Vegas rule, and what stays, what happens in Hecht Center stays there. We're not quite there yet as a team because I see like them saying things that they shouldn't be saying to the media, but we're getting there. They have to learn that inner sanctum that's got to be us, and we can't let anybody in there, even the media. Otherwise, we'll have division from within, and we can't have that. So I think there's definitely going to be more discipline, and there has been already. I mean, I've alluded to some of it, but with that, I don't want to go into the rules of the program or goals or anything specific. But certainly, there's more discipline, I believe, right now. I think the kids would tell you that. Offensive line, without question. I would say more so than quarterback. I think the offensive line is the most difficult, just because there's such a physical disparity, and there's so many calls that you guys don't see on every play, and the defense is always moving. It's very difficult. But I would say the offensive line, both mentally and physically. Was there just a wow moment? I don't know. I just, maybe just getting out to the local high schools in the community and seeing, actually, you've heard about how much talent there was at Northwestern, or in this case, Miami Central this year, but to actually see it, to go there and to see it, and to know that, there was more kids that signed at Miami Central this year than all of New England combined. And that's unique. I mean, that's really unique when you take, Rhode Island and Massachusetts and Connecticut and, New York State, New Hampshire, Maine, and Miami Central had more Division I players than that. That's significant. And the only reason I bring that up is because I coached up there. I coached at Boston College, so I know that. So I think that was probably the wow moment, and it just reaffirms our commitment to the local area, and that we really don't need to be spending a lot of money traveling. We need to be taking care of business here in our backyard, and again, that's a return to our roots. That's how this program was built. I have tough hair. I got crew cuts my whole upbringing, so my hair, if I didn't do anything, it would just go straight up and straight out. So very stringy hair, and so I use a little product.